it could have get so much more today. So much more, because everybody could see in the moments when we played football what can happen, and I don't want to talk about what we could have done, because we didn't.
Hello there guys, and welcome. It is Niran here, and today it's time for me to bring you episode number 7 of Season 2 of our Leicester City career mode. And of course, this is the episode where we try and see if we can do better than the incredible result we had at the start of last episode, where we beat Liverpool at Anfield 4-0 in the third round of the Capital One Cup. We also played a few other games in that episode. If you haven't seen it already, a link to it will be in the description below. But yeah, it was a very entertaining episode. Also, a game against Wolfsburg in the Champions League, and a game in the Premier League, which I can't actually remember right now, to be honest with you. I'm sure someone will be able to tell me. But nevertheless, in today's episode, we've got 2 Barclays Premier League games, as well as another Champions League game, our debut at the King Power Stadium in the Champions League, because our first 2 games in the Champions League have been away from home. But nevertheless, we're going to get straight into the action, the first game of today's episode, and we're playing West Ham United at the King Power Stadium for the first game of the episode. There you can see the squad in the background. Pione coming into the side for Patrick Herman, who was slightly fatigued. Jeffrey Schluck coming into the side for Masuaku for the same reason, and also Jaro Riddim coming into the side for Kevin Wimmer. But the first chance of the game falling to us after just 3 minutes there. N'Golo Kante blasting the ball over the bar with the help of a deflection from Mark Noble. It was a pretty quiet first half. In the first half an hour, Gökhan Inler cutting inside there, but not really testing Adrian at all in the West Ham goal. West Ham did go forward again, forward for the first time in the 41st minute, and they would score for the first time in the 41st minute. Their first chance of the game, their first shot on goal, not just first shot on target, but first shot in general, leading to a goal. Mark Noble nodding in the cross there from Manuel Lanzini after some pretty poor defending from myself. But nevertheless, just after the restart, Pione played in Brildon and Mbolo action. He's trying there to get past the defender, but some good harrying there from the West Ham defender, and unfortunately Mbolo puts it wide. And as you can see, Mark Noble would not be putting it wide, because this guy, this bloody menace, has scored a brace now against us, and what a way to get his brace. Yet again, I think it's set up by Manuel Lanzini, the Argentinian, and Mark Noble blasting it in from a full 20 yards there, in off the post. So things need to change, to be honest with you. We're playing terribly. We're losing 2-0 with just 15 minutes to go at home. We're playing terribly. Onto the pitch came Shinji Okazaki and Danny Drinkwater, and Danny Drinkwater has played through Shinji Okazaki, and would you believe it, the 2 substitutes have combined. Danny Drinkwater getting the assist. Not seen him much in this series so far, but I'm looking to bring him in a lot more this season, Danny Drinkwater. And Shinji Okazaki finishing it off at the near post past the Spaniard Adrian in the West Ham goal, and suddenly we've got a lifeline, having played so hideously in this game so far. Patrick Herman there now being fouled as well on the edge of the area, and suddenly in the 90th minute in injury time, we've got an opportunity there, thanks to Diego Poyet's foul, to get a goal here from this free kick. We're not going to be able to get it over the wall from there, so Patrick Herman leaves it for Perez, but it's an easy save in the end for Adrian. But still into injury time, Patrick Herman receiving the ball, cutting it, trying to get past Mark Noble, but again, it is an easy save straight into the arms of Adrian in goal, and that means, unfortunately, with the 90 minutes having elapsed, we have lost the game here against the Hammers. 2-1 at home. A very disappointing result, and honestly, a very disappointing sort of performance from myself. I was really disappointed with that. Some good ratings for Herman and Okazaki. Okazaki having scored the goal, unsurprisingly, and also a 7 rating as well for Danny Drinkwater, but not really much consolation. A very disappointing result and a disappointing performance. We didn't really get our passing game together, and it was just poor overall. As you can see now, we're moving into some international games in the background, some World Cup qualifiers actually, and the first of which we're playing Belgium at home. There will still be 2 more games played in this episode, so don't worry. The fact that there are national games, don't worry about that. We've taken a 2-1 lead though, thanks to Ross Barkley after Benteke sort of equalised and then got injured. But Dries Mertens, unfortunately, with 13 minutes to go, getting another equaliser, meaning we do draw the game with Belgium 2-2. Going into the second game of the simmed session in the World Cup qualifiers. We've taken the lead again thanks to Harry Kane, but just 5 minutes later Stephen Naismith has equalised from the penalty spot for Scotland, and this really is a must-win game now. We're only on 4 points. We've got Russia, Poland and Belgium scoring points left, right and centre. We need to win this game here against Scotland, and we're drawing. And in fact, we're now losing because James MacArthur, with 6 minutes to go, wins it for Scotland. And I'm not going to lie to you, with 4 games played, it's not looking as if we're actually going to qualify for the World Cup, so we'll have to see what goes down there. Some better news domestically, though, and that's that Maximilian Arnold is back in training and therefore back for the second game of today's episode against Stoke in the Barclays Premier League. So he's back in the side to replace Gökhan Inler, who came in to replace him in the game against West Ham. We're away from home this time, so we're at the Britannia Stadium. There you can see the squad in the background. Masuaku and Arnold back in. Herman back into the squad as well, and Wissam Ben Yedder coming into the side to replace Brildon and Mbolo. But Stoke will get the first chance of the game with just 2 minutes gone. Eric Peters cutting past some terrible defending from myself and then putting the ball past the post, thankfully. Past the near post. That could have been terrible. And after a very quiet first half, similar to the West Ham game, Ben Yedder puts it on a plate for Jamie Vardy. Ben Yedder played down the wing by Riyad Mahrez. A lovely ball from the Algerian. He slots it across for Jamie Vardy. To be honest with you, it's not a goal I'm proud of, but it was a goal that was necessary. This was a very, very difficult game in the first 35 minutes, and we needed some sort of spark to get ourselves into life. And just 3 minutes later, that spark is turning into a fully fledged fire because Jamie Vardy has been brought down here by a Stoke defender. I don't actually know who that is. Is that, who is that? It's going to come up in us. Mark Wilson. It's Mark Wilson, and he's actually been given a red card here. Now, that looks pretty debatable, to be honest with you. He was technically the last man, but there was another Stoke defender coming in to cover, and Riyad Mahrez will step up to take the resultant penalty, and it is saved by Jack Butland. And for the 4th time this season already, we have missed a penalty. 4 out of 8, I think we've now missed, and which is very poor, and Riyad Mahrez misses his second of the season. He has, of course, dispatched 4 already this season, which is pretty good. But nevertheless, after the restart here in the 46th minute, we're going forward already there. Patrick Herman actually playing the ball forward for Jamie Vardy, and just a minute after half-time, we have atoned for Riyad Mahrez's missed penalty, or my missed penalty, technically, and we have taken a 2-0 lead against 10-man Stoke, and it's Jamie Vardy who has got his second goal of the game, completing his brace, and he's now on a hat-trick. Bruno Perez, finding Wissam Ben Yedder now on the hour mark, and he forces a very good save at his near post for Jack Butland, who's, unfortunately for him, his penalty save has meant absolutely nothing because we have doubled our lead in the end. We're going forward again now in the 79th minute, and Fukurata Masuaku blasting the ball just wide on the half volley. That would have been a stunning goal from him. Now into the 90th minute, we're going forward again. Francois Camano off the bench. He's full of energy, full of pace, but he's unfortunately unable to find the back of the net because Jack Butland pulls off another great save, this time a one-on-one save against our young Frenchman. Francois Camano is denied, but we are not denied the win. We take a 2-0 victory here from the Britannia Stadium, a tough place to go on a cold and windy and rainy day in Stoke. But nevertheless, Kasper Schmeichel getting man of the match as we win the game. Good rating as well for Patrick Herman, a 7 as well for Bruno Perez and for N'Golo Kante as well. So a loss, unfortunately, at the start of the episode. We have sort of atoned for that, by winning against Stoke there away from home at 2-0. Nevertheless, in the background, you're seeing just away from playing games strictly, we're already looking forward to the January transfer window, and we're sending our scouts out to various places. We've sent 4 of our scouts out to England, France, Germany and Holland respectively, and they are looking for players whose contracts are expiring at the end of the season, so basically players we can sign on a pre-contract agreement for free, and also some promising young centre-backs between 16 and 20 years of age. Now, I want to know from you guys, what position do you think we should strengthen in the squad, whether that be a new goalkeeper, but I was hoping to save that till next season because we don't have much money, you've got to remember, maybe some new fullbacks, a new centre-back maybe, a new central midfielder, winger, striker, whatever the circumstances. Drop it in the comment section below and thumb up each other's comments as well if you like someone else's ideas. So what position would you like me to strengthen in January? That can be in terms of young players as well as first team players too. Nevertheless, it is time to get into our debut at the King Power Stadium in the Champions League, our first ever home game in Europe, and we're taking on Lokomotiv Moscow, the supposed minnows of our group. They're the 4th seed and we're resting a few players, hence why Francois Camano and a few other players have come into the squad, but that's not stopped us from winning yet another penalty in this episode, and it's Brildon Mbolo who has won it. Now, neither Jamie Vardy nor Riyad Mahrez are playing in this game, so we're going to have to revert to someone who used to take penalties in Season 1, that is Shinji Okazaki, who's going to step up and try and score, and this time we do score from the penalty spot, and Shinji Okazaki gives us a 1-0 lead after 16 minutes in a must-win game. We'd drawn with PSG, we'd drawn with Wolfsburg, and we really needed to win this game. We're just 3 minutes later, though, and Fernandes testing Kasper Schmeichel, but it is a fairly easy test in the end for the Dane. And going forward now in the 28th minute, Shinji Okazaki's been played through again, and he scored again, and we now lead 2-0, and we have a comfortable lead now against the Russian side, Lokomotiv Moscow, and it's Shinji Okazaki who has got both goals, one from the penalty spot, and then he's been played through, I think, by Patrick Herrmann, who we're hoping will not be fatigued for the game against Chelsea, which is our next Barclays Premier League game. At this rate, we can bring him off at half-time because we're probably not going to need him. And Shinji Okazaki going forward again, and he's been brought down by Roman Shishkin, even the right-back of Lokomotiv Moscow, and it looked like a pretty bad challenge, and it's resulted in the second red card of the episode. A Stoke man getting sent off in our game in the middle of the episode, being Mark Wilson, and now Shishkin is off as well, and that should make things very, very easy for us. We've already got a 2-0 lead, now they're down to 10 men, and they're doing their best to make it even easier, because that is a shocking mistake from Guilherme in the Lokomotiv Moscow goal. He's just rolled it out to Nemanja Pecinovic, and Breel Donenbolo is waiting there, and he just intercepts the ball and slots it into the empty goal. And after 40 minutes, we are leading 3-0 here. Can we get our best ever win in any episode of Career Mode ever that I've done on this channel? Well, we're going forward looking for a fourth right on the edge of half-time, and we've won a penalty after some won a corner, after some good play from Jeffrey Schlupp on the left-hand side. The ball in from Herrmann, it's onto the head of Riddim, and it's smacked in by our centre-back Nicholas Nkulu, and the two central defenders have linked together to score. Jairo Riddim gets the assist, and on the turn, on the volley, Nicholas Nkulu has blasted the ball into the back of the net, and we lead 4-0 at half-time. Hence we're bringing off people like Patrick Herrmann and Mbolo. They don't need to be risked, they don't need to be low in stamina after this game or getting injured whatsoever, so we're taking them off for Lukas Zahovic and Shani Tarajai. Lokomotiv Moscow, they're going forward with a deflected strike, but it goes just wide. Now we're going forward with Lukas Zahovic in the 56th minute, and it's 5-0 in our first ever Champions League game at the King Power Stadium, and we are putting on one hell of a show for the Leicester fans. Lukas Zahovic blasting the ball into the back of the net, the ex-Hernenveen man scoring his first ever goal for the club, and the youngster getting that goal. What a fashion to get it in the 57th minute, making it 5-0. Lokomotiv Moscow still going forward though, on Busu for the 5-star skiller, hitting the bar there with his header. Jeffrey Schlupp now going forward in the 63rd minute, good save from Guilherme, but Gökhan Inler is there on the rebound, and after 64 minutes, we are leading. Do not adjust your TV sets. We are leading 6-0. 6-0 in this game, and I promise to you, I played this game on Legendary, no sliders involved. We are beating Lokomotiv Moscow in the Champions League 6-0. What a night this is for Leicester City Football Club, and trying to make it 7-0 late on with a long shot from Gökhan Inler that hit the post. In truth, it could have been any scoreline whatsoever. Lokomotiv Moscow could have scored themselves. We do keep the clean sheet. The Leicester fans are going mental, and no surprise, we have won 6-0. A 9.3 man of the match rating for Gökhan Inler. Fantastic stuff from him. A brace from Okazaki. The whole back five doing astonishingly well as well. Tarajai getting a good rating. Zahovic scoring. Just an absolutely mega game. Mikkel Vestergaard, our young youth graduate from the youth academy, even he got a game. Absolutely astonishing result, and our biggest win in career mode ever on this channel across FIFA 13, FIFA 14, FIFA 15, and now FIFA 16 as well. And as it so happens, we could top the 4-0 win we managed last time out against Liverpool at Anfield, and in the last episode, and we have beaten that hands down with a 6-0 win over Lokomotiv Moscow. In the background, you're seeing training. We're coming towards the end of this month. You guys said I should train Mbolo as well as Zahovic and Shani Tarajai. That has resulted in some attribute growth for all three of them so far. Mbolo quite close to 80, and Zahovic extremely close to 73. Tarajai also extremely close to 74. There'll be a straw poll in the description that allows you to vote yet again for who you would like me to train in the month of November, so don't forget to vote on that. A straw poll in the description below. I'll have about 10 players in, and whoever you vote for, whoever gets the most votes will be trained in the next month, which is November. So about 4 weeks, 4 training slots, or well, a lot of training slots, but 4 weeks worth of training slots for the 3 players that you vote for. Nevertheless, here is the table in the background. We're up to 4th place after a win and a loss in the Barclays Premier League. In today's episode, we jumped in front of Arsenal and into that top 4 place. Talking about top 4, that obviously gets you Champions League, and what a day it has been for us in terms of Champions League. I'll show you the group stage table at the start of next episode and how the Lokomotiv Moscow game has affected our group. Nevertheless, if you did enjoy today's episode, which I'm hoping you did, feel free to smash the likes button. 100 likes yet again on this series will be absolutely massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here, as well as commenting if you enjoyed the video that much. Don't forget to comment about what players I should strengthen in the January transfer window, as well as voting on a straw poll in terms of who you would like me to train. But nevertheless, it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.